Hey guys, welcome back. With the Mayhem event starting in ESO, it got us talking in stream about AP, Emp runs, Telvar, and all of that stuff. As I started getting into some tips for players, I realized that a lot of people don't actually know how the system works. So in this video, I want to take the opportunity to explain what is AP, how it works, and how to maximize your time during things like this event to get the most out of it. This won't be a full PvP guide. Today we're just focusing on the AP, as that's a lot by itself. In this video, we're going to go into what it is, how it works, how to get the most out of the system, and then a few tips at the end to maximize your AP. So AP, or Alliance Points, is the currency you get while in PvP, and what is often unknown to people is AP actually has an offensive and a defensive for 4 different types. We have Keep, Outpost, Resource, and Towns. So how does this help? Well, you see, you can have these types stack. This means that while you have a defensive tick waiting, you could go and take a resource and get a resource offensive tick. So what is a tick? A tick is a collection of AP gained from kills during a fight, a capture of a keep, resource, town, or outpost, or a defensive of the same 4 spread amongst all the people involved. So for example, if you had 10k worth of AP earned in a fight, but there was only 2 people there, each would receive a 5k tick. There will always be a base amount that each will give for a capture no matter how many people are there. So now we know what they are, let's get into how do we get them. The rules to get one of these ticks are to earn any AP during the conditions that meet offensive or defensive. So take a keep, resource, town, or outpost, you will get an offensive tick for that when it flips to your alliance's control. If you earn any AP except for quest AP in an area controlled by your alliance, you will receive a defensive tick. This could involve kills or even repairing walls and doors, healing other players, or even rezzing someone. The size of the tick is determined by the amount of kills on those grounds for either. The rule is if you have a defensive tick waiting, and you earn AP at the same type of area, so a keep or a resource or a town or an outpost, then you will lose the original defensive tick. So how do we use this to our advantage? What we want to do is earn AP for a defensive tick, then stay away from that type and head for one of the other 3 types until it ticks. So for example, we receive a defensive tick from Fort Ash. This is a keep. That means we want to stay away from keeps ideally until that tick rolls over. So aim for one of the other types, an outpost, a resource, or a town. If you get the next type, but that Ash defensive tick has not rolled over yet, then you want to head to one of the other types that are left. Doing this will allow you to always be moving to different places and stacking multiple types of AP. You never need to stay for a defensive tick, so we can employ some strategies and specifically take advantage of that part. And for an offensive tick, we don't need to be stacked on the flags. In fact, anywhere inside the grounds will have you get the tick. The grounds are a little different. It's not the walls around a keep or the flags on a target, although if you're at those things, it's safe to say you're in the grounds. You can actually know you're in the grounds of an area by checking the top right of your screen as you near a target. As you enter the grounds, it will say it. Alternatively, if you're on PC, you can use a minimap to check those areas a little more accurately. What this is getting at is if you're on a farm or something, you can actually be sitting near the edge of the grounds as the target flips to your alliance and still receive your offensive tick, saving you from getting blown up by a bomber on the flag and letting you leave faster. Doing this, if you're quick, you can stack all 4 types of AP at once. Now, if there's nothing else happening, you can chill and just fully repair doors and walls, but if there's action, it's almost always worth moving on to something else for those different types. If you're not going to ride and you want to fast travel but need to fast travel to a different keep and are waiting for a keep defensive tick, you need to make sure when you get there you don't cast any heals or anything to avoid gaining AP in the new keep. Just travel and run, but it's safer to ride if you can. It seems like a lot, I know, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy. And that's it. You keep rolling over the different types of AP as much as you can. Now that we know how to earn the AP, let's talk about how to modify it to get the maximum amount. I'm going to split this into 3 categories: campaign, map, and self-buffs. So each campaign has 2 modifiers: the population underdog or low pop and the score underdog. These are applied when an alliance has consistently had a low population or score for a little bit. They're checked every 30 minutes to see if they should be applied. Each of these add a 100% AP modifier, meaning with them both active at once, you get a 3 times AP bonus in that campaign just for this. Crazy, right? Map buffs equal owned keep bonuses. Owning all your home keeps starts off your bonuses, and after that, the enemy keeps owned will also increase your AP. And the 3 edge keeps, Dragonclaw, Drakelo, and Brindle, each of these provide an 8% AP buff to your alliance. That said, to be honest, these are so far out of most people's control that it's near irrelevant, but it is a modifier to AP, and for that reason I wanted to put it in there. More than anything else, you can use it as a guide. If you see your alliance heading over to a home keep or an edge keep, you'll want to lend your assistance if you can. Then we have the player modifiers. Of course, starting with the event buff that will reward you with 100% AP gained. They've recently made changes to ESO with the event buffs, and for that reason, these will be applied to your character automatically. Then you have your delve buff, probably the most popular one, granting you a 20% bonus to AP earned. This lasts for 1 hour. To get this, head to any delve in Cyrodiil and kill a delve boss. Then the War Taught food. This increases AP earned but does not count to your leaderboard ranking. So not including War Taught. Just with these modifiers, you get 100% for event, 200% for low pop and score, 20% for delve, puts your total at a 320% on top of your normal AP during certain windows. That's a lot of AP. So tips. How do we put all this together and help earn as much AP as possible during these events? And for this, I'm going to be really thinking of EMP pushes. First, make sure to pick up any defensive ticks you can. So if you see one of your keeps flagged, just go do whatever you can to get some AP and then go. You don't want to hang around, you just want to get to the next source. After that, you want to be taking as many things as you can. While your alliance is taking keeps, you rush and get the resources around it, the farm, mine, or lumber. Just make sure you're in the keep grounds, not the resource grounds, so you get the offensive tick for the keep. It's often worth taking 1 or 2 resources and then go for the flip of the keep if you can take them quick enough. Once the keep is flipped, lay down your repair kit to get that AP for the defensive tick and run to the last resources. Next, making sure you've got your delve buff as much as possible is so important and can help a lot, but find your windows. If your alliance is on a roll and is storming a keep, it's often worth sticking with them, and after they take it while they're moving on to the next one, that's when you run off for your buff. And a bit of a tip most people will know, but just in case, do as many dailies as possible before the campaign starts and hold on to them. Then do not immediately hand them in. Sometimes the campaigns take a little bit for the leaderboards to be counting. Wait until you see some names on the leaderboards and then go hand them all in and pick up the fresh ones. If you do it too soon, sometimes you may get the AP, but it won't register on the leaderboards. Now, a really big tip is don't take the bait. If you see a small group of players in a resource tower hopping and just kiting things, ignore them. If you see a big group just steamrolling a keep but not actually flipping it, ignore them. These people are AP farming, and more often than not, fighting them takes so long that you'll just fall behind on AP when you could have just moved on and taken a resource or repaired a wall or something like that, which will often be worth more AP than killing them anyway. So ignore them and go on to the next source of AP. And for a final tip or strategy, this is PvP. When it comes to these EMP pushes or just gaining mass amounts of AP, make sure to look after yourself. Eat, drink, rest, all of that stuff, because it's a bit of a grind. Make sure that you're having fun. PvP itself is really fun, and if you're getting sick of just grinding AP, stop, have a fight, have some fun, group up with some friends, that sort of thing. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself grinding and then falling asleep when you get Emperor, like my friend Madigon, poor guy. Now the truth is, this is just the tip of the iceberg for PvP and AP. There's more to it and even a little bit more to the modifiers, but I don't want to overcomplicate it when it's already an incredibly complex system. So that's that. If you enjoyed this video or it helped, as always, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more. And in the comments, let me know if you have any questions, and are you going to be trying for EMP during this mayhem? And let me know, did you know about the system? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.